Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astro Guide Mysore, and today I'll be starting a new but a very important series of stellar astrology, that is Nakshatra Astrology, in which we'll be first taking a glance into the characteristics, the behavior, and the nature of each 27 stars, each of the 27 stars. So, what are the 27 stars? Let us first once again see Ashwini, Bharani, Krittika, Rohini, Mrigashira, Ardra, Punarasu, Pushya, Ashlesha. The first nine: Makha, Pubba, Mula, Uttara, Hasta, Chitta, Swati, Vishakha, Anuradha, Jyeshtha. Did I tell correctly? Makha, Pubba, Uttara, Hasta, Chitta, Swati, Vishakha, Anuradha, Jyeshtha. Nine should have come, yes. Then Mula, Purva, Ashada, Uttara, Ashada, Shravana, Dhanishta, Shatabisha, Purva, Bhadra, Uttara, Bhadra, Revati. So we have 27 stars made into three parts, 9 plus 9 plus 9. That is how they are done, because they finish in particularly in a particular Rashi, like Ashleshantham, Karkatakam. So Ashwini, Bharani, Krittika Padam, Mesham. So in Mesha we have Ashwini 4 padas, Bharani 4 padas, and Krittika 1 pada. That is 1 pada. Pada means quarter in Sanskrit. So that is how the word tripada becomes a tripod on which my camera is standing. Tripod. Pod means leg. So pada means leg. One leg means 1 quarter. So there are 4 quarters of Krittika. And why am I starting from Krittika? It is Surya. And also in the Vedic hymns, it starts from Krittika. So I will be chanting the hymn so that it will be there. All the 27 Nakshatra Sukta is there in Rigveda and Krishna Yajurveda. It is there in both. So I'll be chanting the Sukta. So we will understand the Saramsha, that is the summary of that, and then go ahead. So this is Kritika for you today. This is the first nakshatra, and it spans between Mesha, last Amsha, that is 26 degrees 40 minutes to 30 degrees, that is the first quarter of Kritika. Then we have 3 quarters of Kritika, that is the second, third, and the fourth quarters, spanning between 0 degrees of Taurus till we have 10 degrees of Taurus. So it is 320, 320, 320, 320, 3 degrees 20 minutes each. The Navamshas of Krittika fall one after the other sequentially from Dhanur Rashi, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So Navamsha, I'm just showing it in the same box. So this is the South Indian style, but easy for me to show you. So Krittika 1 falls in Dhanur Rashi in the D9 chart. Krittika 2 falls in the Capricorn in the D9 chart. Krittika 3 and Krittika 4 in Aquarius and Pisces. So in Krittika 2, you get that moon exaltation. So that is what I have written here. So I'll be telling you the exaltation positions also in particular stars only. There are only 9 planets, in which you have only 5 planets which gets exalted. No, 7 planets which get exalted, including the sun and the moon, excluding Rahu and Ketu. But still, Rahu and Ketu also will be explained with regard to their exaltations and debilitations. So moon is getting exalted in the sun's nakshatra, that too in the second pada of Krittika. And today we will be understanding how this particular nakshatra will be behaving, and if a person is born under that nakshatra. If I am telling if a person is born under that nakshatra, is very clearly, specifically telling when moon is placed over the nakshatra. I am not talking about the lagna part. Here I am talking only about the moon part, because I am talking about the characters. But when I am specifically talking about the eyes are bright, there is the skin is reddish, that is nothing to do with moon. Maybe the skin and the blood will also have some part of moon to play its role in it, but still, when I am talking about the physical qualities of the nakshatra, it has a reference to the ascendant also. So, in case the ascendant is placed over the nakshatra of Krittika, and if moon is placed over the nakshatra of Shatabisha, so that means the person will have, a mixture of the Krittika nakshatra's characteristics, physical characteristics, with the emotional backing of the Shatabisha Nakshatra, because moon is posited there. Shatabisha Nakshatra, which is governed by Rahu. So let us go into it, and I will be giving you a detailed analysis of Krittika Nakshatra today. Okay, so now that we have understood the placement of Krittika Nakshatra in the zodiac, that it is placed in between Mesha Rashi, that is Aries, and Vrishabha Rashi, that is Taurus. That means the Rashyadhipatis, that is the sign lords for Krittika Nakshatra, that is because there is no sign or anything in the space. We have devised it or designed it as human beings. Our forefathers, our previous generations, 5,000 years ago or 6,000 years ago, have designed it and made it into those boxes called as Mesha, Vrishabha, Mithuna, Karkataka, that is Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer. There are no boxes, there is no line, there are no lines there, but Krittika Nakshatra is there. That is for sure. Krittika Nakshatra is 100% there, made out of 6 stars, looks like a razor. Chura, we call it as chura. So, Shatkam, Krittika, chura. Chura means it's like a razor. It's in that particular shape. It's in that particular, you can see it with your naked eyes. You lift your head, see Kritika, search it in any of the good apps, you will get, the night sky apps. Check it out. You can point Kritika, you can see that beautiful constellation of 6 stars in the shape of a razor, and it represents Agni. Agni means the god of fire, and it is blood red in color. So, this is explained in the Vedic Taittiriya Brahmana in a particular Ashtaka 3. So, let me first recite the hymn so that we can go ahead with the characteristic explanations. Om अग्निर्नः पातु कृत्तिकाः नक्षत्रं देवमिन्द्रियम् इदमासां विचक्षणम् अविरासञ्जुहोतना यस्य भान्तिरश्मयो यस्य केतवाः यस्येमा विश्वा भुवनानि सर्वा स कृत्तिकाभिरविसंवसानः अग्निर्नो देवस्सु विते दधातु. So this is the hymn for Krittika Nakshatra. So what my Guruji has taught me. So that the meaning of this particular hymn in a very short summary, because I don't want to take hours together to understand each and every word and tell you the meaning, because I am also not an expert in Sanskrit. But yes, the meaning was explained, and the meaning very clearly tells that there is a very good association of Krittika Nakshatra with the god Indra, Lord Indra. And Indra had the tejas. He had that sparkle in the face. He was bright and extremely, what we call as reverberating with energy. So, and is also said that Agni is embedded, or it is inside, or it is a part, or it is the makeup of Krittika. Agni is what is Krittika. So, Krittika Nakshatra is based fully over Agni. Agni is the first god as per the Vedic hymns. It is the first thing which has been recognized as a being of the cosmic energy, and hence getting energy from Agni is what was sought in all the four Vedas. The first hymns of all the four Vedas starts saluting or salutations to Agni. Like the Rig Veda starts with Agnimi Ile Purohitai Yajnasya Deva Mrutvijam Hota Aram Ratnadhatamam. So, this is Rig Veda. Yeah, I think the Yajurveda starts with Ishayatva Arjayatva Vayavasto Payavasta Devo Vasavita Prarpayatos Shreshtatamaya Karmana Apya Yadvamagniya Deva Bhagamurjasvati Payasvati Prajavati Ranamiva Ayakshmamavastena Ishatamagashakam So Rudrasya Hete Pradamo Vunakta Dhruva Asmin Gopatau Syata Vakvir Ejamanasya Pashun Pahi. The Yajurveda. अग्न आया हि वीतये गृणानो हव्यदातये निहोता सत्स्य बर्हिषि. I think this is Samaveda. Channo devi rabishtaya apo bhavantu pitaye shanyor abhisravantu naha. I think this is Atharvana Veda. So please, if at all I am wrong anywhere, please put it to the feet of Lord Shiva. So here, in this particular hymn of Agnirnavpata Kritikaha, the Krittika, we seek blessings from Krittika Nakshatra, that is the constellation of Krittika, to shower the blessings of light, the blessings of warmth, the blessings of consciousness, because there are three Agnis in this particular horoscope. There are three Agnis. One is Meshagni, one is Simhagni, the other one is called as the Dhanuragni. One is wild fire and heat for the strength, the other one is the fire for the living being to survive, and the third one is the fire for consciousness. So, we are asking in this hymn the blessing from Krittika Nakshatra so that it can show us the right path, the righteous path, the path of Dharma. So, it's a fantastic Sukta, Nakshatra Sukta. So let us go into the characteristics now, directly coming from the spiritualistic Vedic world, directly down to what actually it means to each person who has this nakshatra strongly placed in the chart with a strong placement of the ascendant, moon, and even the sun, the body, mind, and the soul. Why leave out the sun? Sun is you. Sun is your, whatever they call it, cosmic force, all we call it, in other countries they call it the chi, the psychic force, the life force, the prana, whatever you call it. That is the confidence, that is the motivation to live. That is why sun is very important to see whether a person will conceive or not. Sun is the first, what we call as in Hindi, chingari. That is, it's the first spark to lighten up the process of conceiving. Without the heat of sun, there is no life. So, coming to the constellation of Krittika, as the constellation is prominently fiery in nature and has both phlegmatic and bilious qualities of humor, phlegmatic kapha and bilious, that is pitta. Kapha and pitta both mixed together, the person will have good BMR. What is BMR? Basal metabolic rate and digestive capabilities. He will be a voracious eater, a good eater, because he needs to build strong muscles and strong body and has to be strong in his physical nature. The nakshatra is defined as a krura or a cruel nakshatra, but it is unbiased. That means when they are passing judgments, people who are born under Krittika, they are unbiased. but they do not feel sorry, or they do not feel empathetic or sympathetic to that criminal who has to be punished. They will not feel, oh, I am going to, declare, that he has to be hanged till death. Oh, I'm so sorry for that. No, there is nothing sorry for that. Impartial, unbiased, they will simply write, this person has committed so and so as per this particular law. He will be hanged till death by morning 5:10. They'll break the nib and throw the pen. That's done. So they don't have any emotion to show. And if they don't have emotion to show, that doesn't mean they are krura. You can call them emotionless. So defined the nature of the native. So this is the definition of the nature of the native. Sometimes a little harsh, rough-natured, rude personality by birth, rough and rugged personality by birth, but gets modified due to the combinations in the chart and as age passes. Kritika has four quarters, and the first falls in the Navamsha of Jupiter. Very important. That is what is K1, Kritika 1. And it's a mixture of Mars and Jupiter. Why Mars? Because the last quarter of Kritika, as I said, was placed over the ninth Amsha of Mesha. So it has a mixture of the Lord of Mesha, Mars, and Jupiter, and anyway, Sun, because Kritika is represented by Sun God. It's a mixture of Mars and Jupiter, an excellent son or a daughter, a worthy progeny is seen in this particular native's chart. They love family life and mostly stick together as an unit. These people love extended families. They don't want to be alone. They don't want, a king does not want to live without his subjects. He wants everybody, his ministers, his subjects, they close families. If you have seen a fort is not with only one room or two rooms. It is with 200 rooms, 500 rooms. That doesn't mean that the king had, many other wives, No. Earlier days, the king would live with his extended family, a huge family of his relatives, his ministers, because whenever the cabinet has to be summoned, cabinet is there. So, will be healthy, attractive, and wealthy, will abide to his family and community values. Kritika too falls in the D9, that is the Navamsha of Saturn over Capricorn, and here D1 Lord or dispositor is Venus, and in D9 chart it is that of Saturn. So we have beautiful three planets here: Sun, the Lord of Kritika; Venus, the Lord of Taurus; and Saturn, the Lord of Capricorn. Loves to enjoy. See, immediately once Venus comes and Saturn comes, it is enjoy. Loves to enjoy and get involved into luxurious living, will get involved more into materialistic things, and will study, get qualified only to get a job. Because after the job, he gets the money and he enjoys. He wants to enjoy. Will question his own religion and its practices. Hence, will face the ire of his own parents and siblings. So it's not an easy combination of Kritika too. That is where the moon also gets exalted. So Kritika 3, the third quarter is ruled by Venus in the D1 chart and Saturn again in the D9 as it falls over the sign of Aquarius. But here, this Saturn of the Aquarius is a Mula Trikona Saturn, and it is an extremely strong position for modesty. That is Aquarius. Very aggressive and an angry and agitated personality with less patience, and hence shows frustration if this is malefically afflicted. If not, they will convert all this anger and frustration into an energy to keep themselves active, and will show what sort of a personality they can become, and they can rule. High leadership quality, self-centered, but also knows what is happening around and does his thing first because of the self-centered attitude, but will also come out and teach people how to be self reliant and self sufficient. In other words, people may call him selfish, but the good placement of Jupiter and Moon in this particular place will make him a social reformer. So, very strong Kritika 3. That is, it has a mode, a toggle mode, that it can fall this side or that side. So, Kritika 4, the fourth pada of Kritika, here in this quarter, it is ruled by Jupiter, because in the Navamsha, Kritika 4 falls in Pisces, and Venus, because Kritika 3 falls between 6 degrees and 40 minutes and 10 degrees of Taurus. So that is in D1. A very strong qualification and seeking oriented personality. A scholar, an educationist, a professor, a writer, an artist, a philanthropist can be seen from this particular placement, will be devoted to his karma and dharma, and hence will fear the creator and the almighty. So what a beautiful placement this is. So general results of this particular Kritika nakshatra is that they will have a long life, and what they have to be careful from, both water and fire, with respect to minor or even major accidents. But still, be careful, be cautious when you are sailing over water, swimming in the water, diving into water, or you are playing with the fire. Don't play with the fire. Use fire, don't play fire. So fire inflammations, burns, and getting problems of infections through water is seen in this chart. And also sometimes these people can go into depression if their family leaves them and goes away. I have seen many charts with Kritika nakshatra that the wife suddenly walks out of the marriage and the husband is totally broken. So, as per important texts, so now I am referring to important texts in many, many other epics. Again, it might be repetitive, but it is the important text, and we need to understand, like Uttara Kalamrita, Jataka Parijata, Manasagri, many other places. Okay. Good digestion, a good appetite, and they will always be munching on something or the other. Can you get some water? They will be munching on one thing or the other, may lose financially due to unintelligent friends and associates, can become physically abusive if the chart does not have good placements. They can become violent and go to extremities of unnecessary aggressiveness and anxiety. I think it is still there, right? Thank you for your patience. The native will be charismatic. This is another text. The native will be charismatic, short tempered, and will enjoy life without thinking of the future responsibilities, hungry, fierce, and aggressive. The third text tells that he will be mean and rude and may involve into sinful deeds. I think it is more valid if there is a strong malefic associated with Moon in either D1 or D9, or else I don't think he will involve himself into sinful deeds. A person who is unbiased and be a judge, he should not be getting involved into sinful deeds. So, getting into the crux of this particular the nature, what we call it, is a Brahmin nakshatra, a female nakshatra, Rakshasa Gana. It represents the head and the eyes, very sparkling bright eyes. Okay. Behavior and nature of behavior of the native according to Kritika is that, small characteristic behaviors, gets bored soon and wants to do something else or special. This is one thing which is very important to notice, that the person cannot be tied to one particular job. He gets bored, he wants challenges. He gets bored, he wants another war. So he may leave the job and go to another job. They respect status and position, and if anyone kindles or makes fun of this position or their position, their ego will show anger, and that is the one which actually causes a lot of havoc and difficulties. So, I will be doing this series in the same vigor and passion for all the 27 nakshatras with the results. Remedial measures, let us keep it for later because this becomes a huge, lengthy discussion or else. Thank you very much for today's class.